Okay, hello everybody, this is Con, and the subject of today's review is the Perodua Bezza, Perodua's first ever sedan model. Okay, if you recall, this car was first launched thereabouts of, I can't remember the exact time, like 2016? Yeah, 2016. Okay, this car's been in the market for a couple of years now, and as I record this, Perodua has just unveiled a new Bezza G Extra variant that I'm actually on my way to check out at MacPherson, so there will be a separate video on that car. So for this video, I am reviewing the top spec 1.3 advanced model. So this is the range topping variant of the Bezza, automatic transmission, and comes with auto start stop, keyless entry, touchscreen, GPS, and all few other extra, the premium features. Okay, some of these you may not even necessarily find in more expensive cars, way more expensive cars. By this stage, most of you will be quite familiar with the specs and appearance and features of the Bezza, but still, we'll just take a journey outside for a quick walk around of the car.
So such is the numbers that Perodua have sold the Bezza. The shape really should require no introduction to us. Okay, this being the 1.3 advanced model. All Bezzas come standard with 14-inch alloy wheels, but this design is for the 1.3. The 1.0 gets a different design, but they are both 14 inches. Okay. Oh yeah, then you get front fog lamps here for the 1.3. Also you get side mirror mounted indicators, keyless entry, side skirts here. Okay, and yeah, so here's the advanced badge. Eco idle here means auto start stop. Auto start stop is exclusive to the 1.3 advanced. And take a look at the lower edge of this bumper. Okay, this is a revised bumper design because early versions of the Bezza, the rear bumper actually terminated at a higher, actually ran higher up. So a lot of people complain that from the back you see too much of the car's undercarriage. So Perodua actually lowered it by a couple of inches to better shield the undercarriage from the back. Okay, exclusive to the advanced, you get a reverse camera. And so yeah, let's look inside the boot. Alright, so this is a big boot, 508 liters. You will dump a lot of items in here. And this net here is useful, so they put the safety triangle here. You open this boot floor. Underneath is a full-size tire, but with steel wheels lah. And this is a nice little, well, it's polystyrene, but it's useful to organize your things. Okay. But yeah, overall very simple boot, well shaped. Could fit a decent amount of things here. Okay, let's look at the back seat. Okay, so here's the back door card. You get this it's decently sized what you call it, door pocket, speaker here at the back. So you see from here, I look inside, shopping hooks here. Here's the anti-snatch hook which you can hook your bag in. Of course, in this class of car, you don't expect rear air con vents. Here, down here at the trailing edge of the center console, this is a slot here, and here is a single USB port. Okay, so to charge your thing, and here supposedly is for you to drop. This slot is supposed to drop your mobile phone in, but well, mine can't go in. So here at the back, you get adjustable headrests. Plus point, the seat belt, the middle row passenger seat belt, comes out from the parcel shelf here, and get leather seats. And looking at overall space, well, a bit tight up here, but legroom here is decent. Okay, very good legroom. Thigh support, the seat cushion angle is okay, but it doesn't stretch all the way to the back of my knee. Pity, I think, given the amount of space here, they could have extended this seat a bit further to the front, but it's not bad. It's not too bad. Going down again. Okay, so you see here the isofix mounts are pretty deep inside. Okay, and
the seats, folding facility of the seats access here. So both left side and right side, the latch access from one side. So that's convenient, right? Pull that down, pull this down. Okay, now because the seat belt is mounted, comes out from the top shelf, so when you fold your seats down, the seat belt comes down along with it, can't be avoided. And of course there is no seamless transition of the floor, so when you carry big items, the thing will move about a bit. You won't get the item fully resting on the floor. Okay, so let's step inside. Look at the front door. Okay, so you see this silver trim here, fabric inserts here. Interestingly, not leather, despite the car having leather upholstery. And this longish enough door pocket which you can drop your wallet, your key, your handphone, your smart tag here, whatever. Okay, there's another drawer here, also which you can put your smart tag. And if you remember my earlier walk around video of the Bezza 1.0 G Extra at MIPS, okay, this area is a blank area. Now this is full with switches, side mirror control, engine start stop button, stability control, as well as the auto start stop. Okay, here's the instrument cluster. It's a relatively simple looking instrument cluster, 2 dials, and then you have this this button here to switch between various modes of the simple trip computer. Okay, and steering mounted controls, manual climate control, and you see this is a It's a touchscreen unit. And yeah, so let's browse through the various features. So this is the main menu. Goes to the main menu. Well, no swipe function lah. So it's a very simple USB, which the responsiveness is pretty okay. And yeah, so you've got navigation, although I don't think you need navigation with Waze around these days. Yeah, so you see this this has a black, this dark trim. Okay, never mind, we're gonna off that. Okay, so you got remote lock and unlock. The what you call it? These 3 knobs actually feel pretty solid. Okay, they feel pretty solid for a car this price tag. Okay, pulling this back. So this area, compared to the Bezza, which shares the same platform as this car, this area is far better utilized compared to the Bezza. So you get these 2 cup holders here, and then you get this little slot here, where you can park some of your small items, be your house remote or whatever. Okay. Now this part of it, this is the same piece as you see in the Azia, and once again, drop this. This is a very useless slot. Okay, there isn't much that you can put here. So this area is very underutilized when it comes to providing for small item storage. Well, here's a 5V 2M USB port for charging, which I've plugged my phone in. This place here is supposed to put your phone, but well, can't fit my Samsung. Okay, and here's the glove box. Well, a very modestly sized glove box. So yeah, so overall, very simple cabin. Of course, don't expect any form of soft touch plastic lah. The kind of budget that this cabin is built for doesn't permit that. But like with the other Perodua cars that we have tested recently, the cabin does not feel brittle. There are no rattling sounds as we move. There's nothing shaking when we go over rough patches of road. So we can be assured that it is well screwed together. Even though the choice of materials don't feel premium, but things are well screwed together. And you notice, look at all these lines, right? The alignment consistency is pretty good. Yeah. So what we see, okay, this part less so, but this is a complicated part, and don't forget there's a moving part. This is the horn button. So overall, Perodua, you can see that Perodua built this cabin with very modest materials, but fairly decent quality. Now this is of course not my first time reviewing the Bezza. I've driven this car on 2 separate occasions before this, both during my carless days. That was much earlier in its model life cycle, much closer to its launch. Okay, so now this is about a year or 2 down the road. This car has received some noticeable improvements from the last time I drove it. So as illustrated in my walk around video, Perodua made some minor alterations to the lower edge of the rear bumper, but I suspect the changes run a bit deeper than that, because this car, compared to the two earlier cars that I drove, you know, just after its launch, this car feels substantially more refined. The NVH is lower, okay, there's less noise and vibration. It is not as quiet as the Saga VVT lah, but still quiet enough that if I'm cruising along on highway speeds at 110 kilometers per hour, you can still carry out a conversation. Okay, the same cannot be said of the Azia, with which the Bezza shares its platform, but of course the Azia runs a 1-liter engine, and as you would have watched in my review of that car, the Azia feels very, very coarse and very, very unrefined. This car, the Bezza here, seems to have received additional efforts of fine-tuning and refinement that was not present in the Bezza, and that makes the overall driving experience quite a bit more bearable than its hatchback sibling. The handling too is a surprise, because the first time I drove the Bezza, right, the car felt uncertain all over the place, you know, very, very unstable at high speed. But this one feels more planted, more assured. It gives me a bit more confidence to carry high speeds along the highway. So yesterday I drove this car to Sepang for a Mercedes event. So today I'm driving this car to Mapes, and thus far on the highway, it is driving pretty okay. I would still, of course, prefer the Saga if you were to ask me to go on, say, a long distance trip to Penang or JB. But if you were to point a gun at my head and tell me, screw you, you have to take the Bezza, that is not a task that I will be looking at with much dread. I think I would be quite okay to take this car on an extended drive outstation. I also remember the first time when I drove the Bezza, when I collected the car from the Rawang plant, you know, back to Klang. This was a year or two back. I remember that car felt very, very susceptible to the effects of crosswinds. This one, less so. Yeah. Noise, if you bring it up to speed, it is still not, you know, hushed quiet like the Saga VVT, but it's not too bad. The engine also feels pretty well refined. I mean, of course, all this is within context. It revs freely enough. It propels. It does not feel lethargic like how the Azia 1.0 did. This one actually, the engine feels quite free revving. The transmission is decently responsive toward kickdowns. So this is not a car that you would consider to be underpowered. It's not fast per se, but you step on it, there is some go that brings you up to speed. So the overall handling is quite okay, but you know, of course, the steering is not particularly communicative, but it's accurate enough. The weighting also is sensible enough that, you know, it is pleasant to use for town drive, and it does not feel too over assisted that that makes you feel nervous driving this along at highway speeds. But overall, this car definitely feels more refined and better fine-tuned than the early versions that I drove a year or two ago. Yeah, so overall the Bezza is an okay car. If you really want a brand new 4-door sedan without much vices, then of course in the market your choices is either this or the Saga VVT. The Saga VVT is better suited if you are a regular, you know, long distance commute. If you appreciate, you know, a more assured kind of handling. But the Bezza here offers you more modern features, and with the added refinements that I'm experiencing in this car, right, the dynamic gap between this and the Saga VVT is less significant than before. This car is now a passable, it's is passable for use on highway. Okay, not entirely convincing, but passable. In town use, it's pretty brilliant. It's a light steering, light controls, easy to maneuver, not too heavy on fuel. So if you are, you're just commuting around urban commutes, then yes, this is not too bad. And well, honestly, I would if you have the budget to stretch for it, I would definitely recommend this over the Azia. The Azia feels very, very unrefined in comparison to the Bezza, but maybe it could be a result of the powertrain as well. So I've not driven the Bezza 1.0, but yeah. So overall, this is an okay car. Okay, until my next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.